I was a little bit stressed out when I was trying to understand about the, let's see what it says. It says Massa la Flambeau. And one of the things I read that someone else wrote as a side note to put in here, it says about the Massa who are carrying the life-giving, who are the carriers of the life-giving water, grace, and power. It says they can't use the power, they can only give it away, which is why they rule transport and connection. So what I was saying, it's like, what am I saying? It's this card represents, it says 9 of petwo, Massa la Flambeau. It says this represents the 9 of wands. So I've seen this before, and that's really interesting, is that it's a powerful card, right? Okay, and it seems like they are twins. Somebody said that. They look exactly the same. It's that part of what I missed and what I was talking about, which I'm just going to add whatever notes as I go, is it says they rule transport and connection. So, this can have to do with what? The energy being really, really intense. And then those things that connect, right? And make movement. So it's like molecules, or whatever in the systems that we're in, right? That have receptors and the opposite, and they're like connecting and creating like bridges and ways so that the energy can flow, right? So basically, I'm just going to add whatever note I want to put in the video, that it's of note that everything I was saying was interesting, but I didn't catch this part until I reread it. It says that these beings that are moving around the fire, they, if I'm not mistaken, yes, they're called the Massa. They rule transport and connection. So things are moving, right? Things are shifting. It's intense energy, almost like firecracker energy, or anything similar to that, because, it says stuff about gunpowder, we just heard. There are connections being established, right? Through the transport of probably information based on intention and stuff to make things happen. So I was just saying that's really good, right? It's like tending to the fires to make sure they burn. It just reminded me of Sea of Thieves, when they had an event once where you light the flame on the whatever island you go to as like a beacon or something. So it's like high energy, right? High action, almost overwhelming, but a need to control it, right? But actually they can't control it. All you can do is transport it. All they could do is transport it around. So that means you're going to have to apply, that means you're going to have to apply everything that you've learned to very strategically and structurally move the things for transport and connection, right? Because that's what they're doing. So it could be happening around you and you can't see it, but even in a quiet, mundane setting, maybe big things are happening spiritually around you, and you have to be aware of. Being aware of that is powerful, right? If you just imagine the Massa in the temple moving these giant flames of spiritual fire around, and they have to complete the task, right? So we know a completion is near. It's high and intense energy. And the part that I had failed to mention was this essence of what someone else wrote. I mean, I'm just saying that it sounds like they know what they're talking about. And because that's what, I didn't see that in the picture, but I definitely can relate to it. That has to do with transporting something, power, energy, information, and thereby making connections. And yeah, it's like pure life, right? I don't know if it's saying the massa generally carry water, I have to learn about this. I've never studied this before, or if water to them is fire. But we have to go back and I have to listen to it and see, because I heard there's beings called the Radha, which are softer energies, and I don't know yet. So I'm learning it with you. But no, actually, I just noticed they look like twins, but one's a man and one's definitely a woman because it has breasts. So it's twins. It's a man and a woman twin. But it's interesting because the woman one with breasts looks like it has a private area of a man. And then the one that's a man without breast doesn't look like he's got a man's private area. I mean, doesn't it? Of course, this actually looks like a butt and it's turned sideways. So yeah, I think that's what it is. So I think what it is one of the massa is a woman. So it just is a butt cheek. Just happens to look kind of masculine. So yeah, that's a man and that's a woman. But they're twins. And they're tending the fires in the temple. And they're really high, right? So you have to take great care and pay attention. So that would be what it's saying, right? Energy's moving around, changing, things are shifting. Pay attention, right? And be careful. But not be careful as in be in fear, right? But just be aware of your surroundings and what's happening. Like, stay aware more than usual for now. So yeah, I think that's interesting. And we'll see if I read more about it, if I find anything else interesting to say.